What's up everyone? Jackson here, main man Russell behind the camera as always, and we're doing UFC 202 predictions. Yes, my shirt is off-centered, blame 9 Inch Nails. First off, I want to let everyone know I'm not doing the full main card because I feel like there are more important fights on the Fight Pass and the Fox Sports 1 card, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of each. First fight, we're going to start with Magny versus Lorenz Larkin. Magny is number 7 in the welterweight division. Lorenz Larkin is kind of middle of the pack. I think it's going to be one of the best fights of the night. They did put it on Fight Pass. It is catching a lot of flack for that, but people don't understand business models and you need to sell subscriptions. I think it could be fight of the night. It is honestly my pick for that as well. I do think Magny has obviously the reach advantage. It's 8 inches. He's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He lost to Damian Maia, who is fighting Carlos Condit next weekend. That's going to be an awesome fight. A lot of people are excited for it. It was supposed to be on this card actually, but they wanted to bolster the card next week in Canada. Lorenz Larkin is a striker. He's known for his, kicks, punches, Muay Thai, kickboxing, all that good shit. He actually started at light heavyweight in Strikeforce, moved down to middleweight, fought Robbie Lawler when his career was shit before he resurrected it. I do think this fight will be really back and forth. Lorenz is obviously, he's got the striking advantage. Magny, he's known for getting tagged a lot in a lot of his fights. If you watched the Hector Lombard fight in Australia, that was quite a shit show for the refs. Could have been stopped either way. He got dropped really quickly, first round. Hector Lombard basically murdered him, and then it was vice versa the next round. So I think he will get dropped quite a few times, not quite a few, but maybe once or twice throughout this whole fight. But it will go 3 rounds, so we won't see that as much. Magny does recover really well. A lot of people who get hit like that, they tend to just crumple and end the fight. Lorenz's glaring weakness, it's not his chin, there's nothing like that. It's going to be his wrestling. He gets taken down a lot, but since he dropped down to welterweight, he's done really well. He fought a lot of big guys. He fought King Mo in Strikeforce, who's a huge motherfucker. So, we'll judge it off that, but I do think wrestling will be his weakness. Magny should hopefully use his reach to his advantage and get a few takedowns in there. He won't hold him down for the whole fight. Like I said, he will get dropped maybe once or twice. You won't see Lorenz really hurt. He might get threatened with a submission attempt every once in a while throughout that whole fight, but it is going to be very, very close. I do see winning this by split decision, and he should hopefully be getting a step up in competition. I think it would be nice to see him fight Rory McDonald next, who's coming off 2 losses, but he's one of the best in the world. Hopefully he doesn't sign with Bellator. So we'll see what's up with that, but yeah, Magny, split decision. Next up, this is going to be the main event on Fox Sports 1. It's going to be Cody Garbrandt versus Takeya Mizugaki. It's a really interesting fight. I feel like a lot of people aren't excited about it because Cody Garbrandt just knocked the shit out of Thomas Almeida, who was ranked above him. He was like the next big thing. But I do think it could be a sleeper fight for Mizugaki. He's known for taking quite a few shots and coming back. He beat Francisco Rivera, who hits really fucking hard. And he survived that and won a decision. And he's only been finished a few times. I remember Uriah Faber finished him. Dominic Cruz, that was pretty brutal. I mean, it was his comeback fight too, but it was pretty fucking brutal. He just got knocked the fuck out. I do see Cody finishing this fight, but I don't think it's gonna be as quick as everyone believes it will be. I don't think he's gonna go out there, just flatten him out in 10 seconds. I do think Takeya will have a few good moments in the first round. I mean, his strength is obviously, he can get in close, land a couple takedowns, but Cody's also a great wrestler, and he was, Golden Gloves boxing back in the day before he started doing MMA. So it should be a really interesting fight, and I think Takeya's getting a little bit of a stock boost, even though not much. Cody, we all know what he can do, and he's constantly evolving. He's, the UFC just building him up slowly, and I do think, I would like to see him honestly fight TJ Dillashaw after this. So yes, I do think Cody will win. Not first round, but it will be in the second round. He's gonna drop Takeya second round pretty early, right after the first round. He's gonna finish him up with some punches, so it should be pretty good. And like I said, I would like to see him fight TJ Dillashaw because we all know Dilla Snake and Team Alpha Male. Going to the pay-per-view here, we're skipping the other 2 fights that started, Hyungu Lim versus Perry and Tim Means. I do think those are good fights, but I don't think they're kind of worthy of predictions right now. I'm looking more towards fights that are gonna have an impact on divisions. So next up, we've got Rick Story versus Donald Cerrone. This is a really interesting matchup. Cowboy is coming off 2 wins in the welterweight division after he lost to RDA pretty badly. You know, the body shots, I was looking forward to that fight. I know Russell was too. I do think this is gonna be a really exciting fight. I don't see a finish happening, but it could happen either way. Rick Story is known for his body shots lately, and we all know Donald Cerrone can't take a body shot. No offense, Donald. We saw him lose to Anthony Pettis with a knee to the body, and RDA fucked his day up with a body shot as well. I do think this, like I said, will go all 3 rounds. It's gonna be pretty back and forth. First round will be kind of open. You're gonna see Donald use his takedowns a lot. He looked really good against Patrick Cote using his takedowns. I mean, the way he would just mix into combos and slip and take Patrick down, that was fucking amazing. He's got great submissions, we all know that, as well as defense. Rick Story, his strong suit is, you know, it's gonna be a stand-up. He's got some takedowns in there, but every time we see him, it's his boxing. And like I said, the body shots. So that's his key to this fight, is the body shots. I don't see him really landing many of those because Donald, hopefully by now, knows not to get hit with those, but whatever. Second round, that one's gonna be, I think we're gonna see Donald open up a little bit more, mixing his kicks with his punches, a couple takedowns, maybe some submission attempts, I don't know. But I do see Donald winning this by unanimous decision in the 3rd round. And it's not gonna look bad for either fighter. They're both gonna get a little bit of stock increase on this fight. But yes, I do see Donald Cerrone winning in unanimous decision. Rumble Johnson versus Glover Teixeira. This is a really interesting fight. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Glover. You know, he looked pretty good coming in the UFC. He fought, I don't want to say mediocre, but he did fight mediocre competition. Then he got a shot at John. Didn't look too good, and then lost to Phil Davis. Everyone started ringing the alarm on that one. But he's looked really good his last, you know, few fights. He's had all finishes. And same with Rumble. He lost to DC. Obviously, the wrestling is his biggest thing as usual. I mean, he lost to Josh Koscheck because of wrestling in the 170 division. And he actually got submitted by rear naked choke by Josh Koscheck and DC, different weight classes, but you get the picture here. His cardio is not too good. I do think he has worked on that a little bit, but we don't know until we see the fight. Anyways, I do see Rumble obviously using his power and his speed, which is his advantage almost in everyone in the division, except for John Jones, I think. But let's not talk about John Jones. Jesus Christ, John Jones. Glover can take a shot. He's got a fucking excellent chin. I mean, John almost dislocated his elbow numerous times. I think he did dislocate it. And then, you know, Phil Davis rocked him a few times. Not rocked him, Phil Davis has pillow fists, sorry. I don't mean to say rocked him. And then OSP actually, I think he got some good shots in there. He actually hurt Glover a few times, but we know he can take a good shot, but can he take an Anthony Johnson shot? We don't know, and usually the answer is no to that. So his key, Glover's key, is to wrestle, obviously. He's got the submissions. He traded Chuck Liddell, so he knows what he's doing. Chuck was a good wrestler, but nobody ever saw that. So if he wants to win this fight, he's gonna have to endure a first-round storm, just like with Vitor Belfort. So that's his key to win this. Anthony's is obviously to finish it in the first round. If he can pace himself like the Phil Davis fight, and, you know, gradually do his striking with some takedowns even, he can last the full 3 rounds and win a decision. But I do see Anthony clipping Glover maybe in the middle towards the end of the first round. So it'll be a pretty quick fight, but don't get me wrong, Glover can win this. He has a really good shot of winning this, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So Anthony Johnson, first round. All right, I gotta think about my pick for this next one. And like, you know, I don't wanna upset Reddit either with my pick. Let's get to what everyone's waiting for. We've got Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor. You heard that right. Nate's actually gonna be in the red corner this time. I think that's the way they have it booked. Conor got pulled from 200. That one kind of bombed. Everyone knows that. He showed up late yesterday at the press conference.
A little late to the press conference.
I thought it was 1:30. I was told 1:30. Vegas traffic's heavy as well this time of year. I don't know. There must be a McGregor show going on because the place is packed out.
And then water bottles were thrown.
Fuck your whole team. Little crackhead essays. Shut your fucking mouth. You'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you will do nothing. Get the fuck out of here! Fuck you!
Conor, don't throw those fucking cans. Conor! That's all right. Hey.
It was It was glorious, I think, but you know, I don't know how I feel about this. And I'm 50-50, honestly. I don't say that about a lot of fights, because we don't know what's going to happen, honestly. We don't know that with any fight. It's always 50-50. I do think this is obviously going to go a lot longer than the first fight. The first fight was 2 rounds. Conor did pretty well with the striking. I don't think he hurt Nate as bad as he said he did. Nate can take a lot of punishment, and his skin is pretty thin with all the scar tissue, so it makes it look worse than it actually is. First round, I see it a lot like first fight. There's going to be a lot of back and forth action. Conor's potentially going to light him up a little bit, not necessarily hurt him, because we've never seen Diaz hurt except for the Thompson fight. I remember that night, I think Russell and I had a good night with some Jaeger the night before that, and some Old Chicago. Thai pizza, you should get that, it's pretty good. This is not a plug, Old Chicago, so fuck off. Second, I don't know how it's gonna be, because Conor's hopefully gonna have a little more cardio, and I want it to be a little more exciting. So I do think, you know, it's gonna go in the later rounds, obviously, but I do think Diaz's boxing is gonna be a little more crisp. He hasn't had to cut weight, his last fight was at 155. I mean, they both haven't had to cut weight. But Diaz has been probably walking around this weight very comfortably, and no, he's not 200 pounds like Conor and the rumors say. So don't worry about that, don't factor that in. They always have good cardio. I don't think we'll ever see him gas. But I do think, you know, it's gonna be a lot of back and forth. I don't think Conor's gonna be becoming a wrestler again. I could see Diaz going for a judo trip. He's got some really underrated judo trips. If you watch any of his other fights, they're excellent. I could see a couple of those going in there, but I don't think a submission's gonna come from it. Conor should be able to scramble because he's been training with a lot of good black belts. So I do think this is going to be on the feet almost the whole fight. It's going to go in the later rounds. They both have full training camps, which is the key to this. But can someone really increase their cardio like Conor in, what, 5 months, 4 months? We don't know, and usually it's not the case. Hopefully Conor trained a little bit better for this, and we know Nate always trains. He does triathlons, smokes weed, all that good shit. Conor's gonna use his striking, obviously. That fucking left, that's his bread and butter. He's not gonna be as flashy. I feel like he wants to conserve his energy. So we're gonna see a little back and forth in the first round. Same with the second. I honestly don't know if there's any takedowns in this one or not. It might just be standing. But if it does get to the ground, I do see Conor, he defended pretty well in the first fight. We should give him props for that. He got out of that first, you know, submission attempt that Diaz could have had on him pretty well, got back to the feet. Second round, he got submitted because he was just gassed. He has been training with Dylan Dennis, who's an excellent black belt. So hopefully he's got a little bit more to his game now. He knows how to defend. I don't see him ever submitting Diaz, but anything's possible. I do see this one going into the later rounds, and just for shits and giggles, and I want to see a trilogy, I'm going to say Conor's going to end up finishing this in the 4th round. I don't think Diaz is going to get rocked. I want to say something like a cut, like a really bad cut, because he's easy to cut. But yeah, I do see a TKO for Conor McGregor in the 4th round, probably late in the 4th round. But don't get me wrong, Diaz is going to have some great moments in this fight. I could see him rocking Conor again, but I think Conor will probably recover a little bit better since his cardio should be a little bit better. But yeah, so yeah, Conor McGregor, 4th round, and I look forward to the 3rd fight. Thanks, everyone.
You fucking won't.
Get the fuck out of here!
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!